Now they're on why Tamara was being so rude to Anthony. Let me break down why Tamara is so rude to Anthony when it comes to Shayla. Because she only got Shayla's side of the situation. Let me break down why I understand Tamara's whole perspective on this. Number one, you was over there. You had a whole baby by Shayla. You was all in. Y'all went to Jamaica. Everything was fine. Y'all had no issues. You was ready to go through with this divorce until that attorney told you how much money you was going to lose. All your assets. You told Shayla that you were going to try to heal Amber's heart so you could get this divorce. And then when you went to that counseling session, it backfired on you. And now all of a sudden, now here we are. Now you're backpedaling and making it seem like Shayla didn't mean nothing to you. You thought that Shayla was going to be by herself and she was going to be alone by herself with nobody while you were over there with Amber. You thought you were going to be able to come in between these two women and still be with them, and then she met Iman. You still don't even know she met Iman through Wayne. You still don't even know that. You still don't even know that her and Delicia and Iman went to dinner. Still don't know about that. But yet you're still doing business with that man. So in the end, like I said, Anthony is not there for the right reasons. Amber's not there for the right reasons. I don't care what y'all talk about. So if all of a sudden this man just decides to go back home, he didn't go back home because he wanted to be with Amber. He went back home because of his assets. Because he got Amber to sell that business. Now, if Shayla would have been by herself and never got with Iman after Amber sold that business, you think Anthony wouldn't have took his behind back over there? You think that Iman shook things up just a little TT bit? Because he did. Shook it up nicely. He shook it up very, very, very nicely. And I ain't mad at it. So again, I'm really trying to understand why y'all don't understand Tamara's position on this situation. Because I certainly do. Because if I sat here and I watched a man sit up here and lie between two different women, making it seem like you going to leave your wife and then you don't. You and Shayla did not have no problems when y'all was over there. None. You went back because you didn't want to lose your assets. And now you there and y'all are constantly arguing every single day. You still trying to make Amber into Shayla. The kitchen thing was an example of that. He misses parts of Shayla. He does. And I don't care what nobody say. He is trying to make trying to make Amber into Shayla. I don't care what nobody say. He is. He is trying to make Amber into Shayla. So, like I said, at the end of the day, y'all can say what you want to. I am not even going to remotely waste my time at this point. This is why I do not do the Kountry Wayne skit reviews no more. And why I just sit back and just observe. Because the fact that y'all do not see what is so blatant in front of your faces. This is what really happens in real life when it comes to taking somebody back, when it comes to infidelity and then a baby. The look on Amber's face when she saw that house. The fact that Shayla is now on the same playing field as her. The fact that Shayla was with Iman, who makes way more money than Anthony could ever make. And the fact of how calm Shayla is. So if you don't think that Shayla still don't hold the cards, oh, she does. Keep thinking that she don't. Because I'm going to say it like this here. It is not the woman that is married to that man. It is the woman that got the child by that man that matters. Because the woman that got the child by that man has 18 years connected with that man. That man can divorce multiple different women. That baby mama will always be connected to that man, which trumps the wife. unless legally. So again, if there's no will and testament, yes, the wife legally gets everything, but at the same time, that child also gets something as well. So the only thing that's gonna happen is everything gets divided between the child and the mother and the wife. So how does she lose exactly? At the end of the day, like I said, I really do not understand how y'all think a sheet of paper and a ring trumps a child. It don't. Not in the eyes of God, it don't. It doesn't matter the fact that he's married to Amber. The point is, Amber can never give him a child. Shayla's giving him something. Amber can come and go. Amber can always be replaced. But you can't replace a child. You just can't. So at the end of the day, like I said, I find all of this hilarious, honestly. The fact that y'all cannot understand why Tamara looks at Anthony the way she do. Because she knows that Anthony really don't want Amber. And he don't. She knows that the only reason he went back was because of his assets. She knows about everything. So at the end of the day, y'all can say what you want to. Anthony did not go back because he genuinely loves his wife. He went back because of his assets. If it would have been where he didn't have to give Amber nothing, trust and believe he would have said, I want the divorce. But he didn't want the divorce because of what he has to lose. If that's the case, that $2 million would not be in PRA's bank account. If it was really about that. He'd have put that money in that bank account. And when Amber said something about seeing the bank accounts, he would have basically gave her access to the bank accounts. But again, he don't want Amber. Sorry to say it, but he don't. Like I said, for a lot of men, it's about pride. For a lot of women, you are a seat filler, captain, save a hoe, a build a bear, build a dog, and a people please. And that is what Amber is. So at the end of the day, if you look at everything that Anthony has done since he's been back in that marriage, you can sit there and say what you want to. He is making her into shape. Because if you look at the way Amber has her hair, if you look at the way they're intimate, that's all the things that Shayla used to do. If you look at the fact of him making her give up her business, that's what he did to Shayla. But okay, say what you want to about that girl. So at the end of the day, eventually, like I said, Amber is going to be pissed at that party when she sees the way that Wayne treats her. And the only reason that Amber ain't gonna say nothing about being with Wayne because she's married to Anthony. And if she does, then it's gonna basically prove that she still has feelings for Wayne. So at the end of the day, like I said, you're gonna have to be around that girl whether you want to or not because she is with Wayne. And Wayne is not going for that. Wayne is not gonna go for that. Because the first thing he gonna say is, this ain't got nothing to do with Shayla, this got everything to do with me. Why is it that you don't want to be around her? Like I said, the two of y'all ain't got to be friends. But at the end of the day, these two do business together. So whether you like it or not, you're going to have to deal with her, whether you want to or not. If he is dating her and he is serious about her, which that is what pisses her off, then it is what it is. Because if you had a man that is friends with somebody that you don't like, for example, and you know you don't like that person, and even though you may not like that person, these two people do business together, you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have to be around them whether you want to be around them or not. So in the end, if you somebody that's really about business and you notice your husband is doing business with this person, you're going to have to deal with that person's wife. Now, I'm not saying we got to be friends and we have to talk key, but when they're doing business, we have to have a conversation. And that would have been the perfect time for her and Tamara to have that conversation. But she didn't. So this ain't got nothing to do with Shayla. This got everything to do with Wayne. Because if that was the case, you had conversations with every other female that he dated. Sarah, Erica. You even have talked to Piari and Imani. So why you don't want to talk to her? We will see, won't we? Bye, y'all.